My name is Vaibhav Pai. So welcome to the HIS class. So HIS, the subject Hospitality Information Systems, uh, is a subject which deals with the study of information systems, which is a computer-based system along with the hospitality science. So how the two are related, hospitality science and information systems, how the two can be combined for the use of personnel in the hospitality industries. So here we are going to study certain topics in the present semester. So my name is Vaibhav Pai. So I'll be taking up the classes for this subject for you. Now, before we start the classes, these are certain points each and every student should keep in mind while attending the online classes. So, attend online classes on time. Whenever you have a class, be online at the notified timings and don't be late or don't be too early also, because we'll be starting the class at the exact notified time, since the class is only for 40 minutes and not longer as we would usually have during the regular college days. So attend regularly, don't miss classes for the sake of missing. Attend all classes and attend regularly to be yourself in touch with all the topics. Now when you are attending this online class, request for a silent and secluded environment. So if you are using a cell phone or a laptop, sit in a place where you are free from distraction by family members or friends or even pet animals. So, or even a traffic nearby. So be away from all these things. Be seated and listen attentively, just as you would listen to a class in the college. So maintain a 200 pages notebook for taking down notes. So you have to jot down notes when the class is being taken. So be sure you note down important points during the class hours. So the prescribed book is Fundamentals of Information Technology by Alexis Leon and Matthews Leon. So note down the author's name and the textbook. So this textbook covers most of the syllabus. The syllabus I will be sharing with you in the next video. So right now I don't have it, but most of the stuff whatever I am doing will be from the syllabus, so you need not worry right now. So just note down the textbook name here. So we'll start off right away. So the first unit is Introduction to Computers. Okay, what is a computer? So computer is a machine. It is a computing and programmable machine. So what is computing? Computing is calculating. So we are all familiar with the basic arithmetic operations. So that is calculation. The basic operations are addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. So that is computing. You have advanced computing also. So there are various functions like sine functions, trigonometric functions, that is sine is one of them. Then you have logarithmic functions and much more complex functions. So these are all functions which come under computing or calculating. So computer is basically a computing machine. So the earliest computer known to man is the calculator. So calculator we basically call the most basic computer. Much more basic than calculator is the abacus, the earliest calculator, which has been in use since thousands of years, right? So calculator is the most basic computer, and the advanced computer today can do much more than what a calculator can do. It can do what a calculator can do and also much more. And it is a programmable machine. So we'll see what a programmable machine is later on. Now, computer has two major characteristics. It responds to a set of instructions. So if you give it commands or a series of commands, it will respond to that. So it will either say I can do it, or it will say I can't do it. So that is its response. So what is the second characteristic? It can execute a pre-recorded list of instructions. So if you give it a list of instructions which are recorded previously and you have it stored, and if you give that to the computer, it will execute those list of instructions. What do you mean by execution? Carrying out the tasks in the list of instructions, that is called execution. So this list of instructions has another name. One of the names is code, another name is program. So a person who writes this list of instructions is called coder, or he is called programmer. One who writes program is programmer, one who writes code is coder. Another name is software engineer. So we are all familiar with people who are working in software companies. They are all software engineers. So what do they do in the company? They sit and write programs. Okay. Right. Now when you write a computer program, it is written in computer language. So they have designed languages which the computer can understand, and these are called as computer languages. Most of the computer languages today are close to English, that is human language. But the earlier languages developed for computers, they are they are close to something called as machine language, which we will see in the later classes. So the list of instructions are in the computer language and not in English or our human languages like Hindi and Kannada and so on, right? But they are developing those. So we'll see that later. So what is hardware and software? Then next two important things. So computer, when you say, you can broadly divide it into hardware and software. So let us see what it is. Hardware is the machinery, wires, circuits and transistors. Software is the instructions and data. So all the physical parts that we see, that is the hardware. So you see speakers, monitor. Those who can identify this, so this is a homework for you. Just find out from the internet or any other source, like asking your friends, what is the speaker when you see a computer? What is the monitor? What is the keyboard? Which one is the mouse? So all these things you see, now that is called hardware together, all the wires and those. So one important thing is, you can not just see the hardware, you can even touch it. So it is called as the tangible part of the computer, which means you can touch it. So that is hardware. Software is the instructions and data. So software can only be seen. Where do we see the software? We see it inside the monitor. So right now we are all looking into our screens. We are seeing some program is running. For example, if you are using Telegram, you see that Telegram is running. So Telegram is a software there. So it is instructions and data. Directly you don't see the instructions. I don't see how Telegram is working. But behind the working of Telegram, there are instructions. So that is software. And there is data also. What is this data? Software carries data. So data is raw facts and figures. For example, right now we are seeing so much information in this particular slide. I see so many lines of text. So that is data. We'll see this in detail later on. So this is basically hardware and software. One comparison we can make is with the human body. So when you see a person, a human being, you can broadly divide him into two parts. So how you can think of it like this. There are physical parts like the hands, the head, the feet. So these are the physical parts. And there is one mental faculty of a human being. That is the mind of the human being. You can't see the mind directly. So you can compare the hardware to the physical parts and the software to the mind. You can see the mind indirectly. How do you see the mind indirectly? That is the face of the person. So So we have a saying in Kannada, Mukha Manasina Kannadi. So software is just like that. It is inside the computer. We cannot touch it directly. We can just see it on the monitor. So monitor is here like a face of the person. So hardware and software. Now classifying hardware components further. So what is CPU? CPU is Central Processing Unit. That is the full form here. It is the heart of the computer. So why have they compared it to the heart? So when you talk about the most important organ of the human body, it is the heart, because heart pumps blood to all the organs, and if the heart stops, the person is not considered alive. So heart is the most important organ. It executes instructions. So that is the job of the CPU. It is a processing unit. So what is processing? Another name for processing is calculating or executing. So whatever is told, it tries to understand and it executes. That is the job of the CPU. So its job is to execute the instructions or commands given by the programmer to the computer. What is the second part? It is the memory. So computer in certain ways is very similar to a human being. So memory is the next part. So what is memory? It enables the computer to store data and programs temporarily. So that is what even our memory is, right? We try to remember things at least temporarily. Right now this class is being remembered by you. That is until you note it down somewhere. So tomorrow you may forget this, but at least temporarily for today you will remember what was done in the class. So just like that, memory enables to store data and programs temporarily. So the main memory is called RAM, random access memory. Why is it called random access memory? That we will see in detail when the chapter comes about memory. So right now you just note down, memory is called RAM, random access memory. Input device, that is the next hardware component. It allows one to enter data and instructions into a computer. Now this many students get confused between input device and output device. Suppose you are sitting in front of a computer. Imagine you are sitting and you have to put instructions inside the computer or data inside the computer. So what will you do? You will use a keyboard to type. When you type, what will happen? It will go inside the computer, whatever you are typing. If you type your name will be stored. So you are giving input to the computer. So this is the input device. It allows you to enter data into a computer. So what other devices help you to enter data? Mouse is another device. How? When you click on the mouse buttons, then some action is carried out on the computer. So mouse is an input device. Keyboard is an input device through which you give text data. So there are other input devices which we will see again in detail later. Right now just we note down that joystick, scanner and trackball, these are other input devices. Many of us know what a mouse and what a keyboard is. We have all seen a computer, so we know this. Maybe joysticks and scanner, trackball we might not have seen, or we may not recognize now. We'll see that later. So the next device is output device. Again, if you sit in front of a computer, now when you type something in the computer, computer takes it as input. Suppose it does calculation. Suppose you tell the computer calculate 10 plus 20. Okay, that you enter through the keyboard, input is given to the computer. What will computer do? It will calculate 10 plus 20 and the result 30 it will calculate. Now this 30 it will give to the user, one who has asked for the calculation. How does it give? Through the output device. So what does it do? It lets us see the tasks accomplished or results which it has carried out through the output device. So output device is used for showing results. So which are the output devices? Monitor and printer.